Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to Web Accessibility for All. I am your host, Ariel. And today we are kicking off a brand new series all about accessibility testing, including unit testing, integration testing, and end-to-end testing. This is the first episode in a 4-part saga where we'll break down everything you need to know about making sure your web applications are accessible to everyone. I promise by the end of this series, you'll have a solid understanding on how to test for accessibility. By the way, the reason I chose React over other available options was simply due to its popularity. However, the concepts and techniques discussed here can be applied to any other modern web application development framework. Are you ready now? So let's dive right in. Alright, let's start with the basics.
What exactly is software testing?
Well, in a nutshell, software testing is all about making sure that the code you write does what it's supposed to do. It's like giving your app a checkup to catch any bugs or issues before your users do. And just like you wouldn't skip your car's regular maintenance, you shouldn't skip testing your code either. But here's the thing. Functionality is only one piece of the puzzle. I mean, your app might work perfectly fine, but if it is not accessible, you're leaving a lot of people out. Aww. This is where accessibility testing comes in.
So, what is accessibility testing, and why does it matter?
Accessibility testing is all about making sure your web app can be used by everyone, including people with disabilities. This means ensuring that your site works well with screen readers, is navigable by keyboard, and doesn't rely solely on color to convey information, among other things. Now, you might be thinking,
This sounds pretty complicated.
yeah, it can be tricky at first, but here is the thing. The more you make accessibility a priority from the start, the easier it becomes to build apps that everyone can use. Why does it matter? Well, let's hear from Marcy Sutton, a well-known advocate for accessibility in web development. She said,
Accessibility is not a feature, it's a core part of quality.
That really hits the nail in the head, doesn't it? Accessibility isn't something that you add in the end. Accessibility testing, as an integral part of software quality, begins at the start of a project. Now let's clarify some points right from the beginning. First, while automated tools are very helpful in accessibility testing, they can't catch every error because they can't understand content or assess content quality. So, after using automated tools as a first step, you should follow up with manual testing to ensure inclusivity and accessibility. Second, keep in mind that valid code doesn't guarantee accessibility on its own, but invalid code cause accessibility issues. Now, when it comes to React apps, accessibility testing is just as important as any other type of testing. React is one of the most popular frameworks for building modern web applications, and
With great power comes great responsibility.
alright, so you know now that you need to ensure that the components you create are accessible to everyone. This is where tools like Axcore come into play.
So, what is Axcore?
Simply put, Axcore is an accessibility testing engine that checks your web pages for issues that can make them hard to use for people with disabilities. It's like having a checklist for best practices and common pitfalls, and Axcore goes through that checklist for you. One of the best things about Xcore is that it's the same engine used by tools like Google Lighthouse, which maybe you are already familiar with. That's a big vote of confidence. It's thorough, reliable, and it integrates seamlessly into your existing testing workflow.
But why choose Axcore over other tools?
It's incredibly easy to set up and use, especially if you are already working with a testing framework like Jest or Cypress. Plus, it's open source, actively maintained, and has a strong community behind it. And because it's the engine behind Lighthouse, you know you're getting a tool that is trusted by some of the biggest names in tech. So if you are serious about making your React app accessible, Xcore is a fantastic place to start. Now let's take a look at the React application that we are going to use for testing accessibility errors. It is a pretty simple page with a heading level 1 and a form. This form has a text field and a button to submit it.
My search app, Google Chrome window. Heading level 1 search users. Search users, edit required, enter a keyword blank. Search form search button.
The goal of this page is to search for users by name based on the text entered into the field. If the query matches any existing users, their name and email will be returned. If no users are found, or if an error occurs, we'll also notify the user. Let's give it a try.
My search app, Google Chrome. My search app, Google Chrome. Search users, edit required, enter a keyword blank. C. Search button. 7 user, S. Found. Out of form 7 user, S. Found. Heading level 2 Clementine Botch. Link Nathan at Yesenia.net. Heading level 2 Patricia Lebsack. Link Julianne.O'Connor at Corey.org. Heading level 2 Chelsea Dietrich. Link Lucio Hedinger at Annie.ca. Julianne, Nathan, search users, edit required, BB. Search but, 0 user, S. Found. Out of form, no results found.
Now, this page includes several accessibility issues that I've introduced so we can experiment on how the Xcore package works in different types of tests. Before we wrap up, I'm gonna leave you with this thought. Testing for accessibility is not just about following the rules, it's about making the web a better place for everyone. As developers, we have the power to create experiences that are inclusive and welcoming, and that starts with making accessibility a core part of our development process. In the next 3 episodes, we'll dive deep into how you can implement accessibility testing in your React apps. We'll be covering unit testing, integration testing, and end-to-end testing with practical examples, each one with a focus on accessibility. So make sure you subscribe to this podcast because I think you won't want to miss what's coming up. And if you are feeling inspired, why not to take action today? Start exploring Xcore. Try running some accessibility tests in your own code and see what you find. You might be surprised at how much you can improve. Okay, my friend, thank you very much for tuning in to Web Accessibility for All. I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, happy coding, and as always, remember, accessibility is not a privilege, it is a right. It is for everyone. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.